You know, I've had this like little, this headband since I was like, I don't know, 13. I made it myself, kind of. I just got some jeans and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna just snip, snip. Hi guys, I'm here. I'm gonna be doing another makeup video today because I'm literally bored and there's nothing else to do. Yeah, this is the second one. So if you're like me and you love music and you love music history itself as well, you would know a very well-known singer named Amy Winehouse. Amy Winehouse is one of the most inspirational modern jazz musicians that we know of today. I mean, obviously my generation, if you were born from 99 to now, you would know who Amy Winehouse is at least. That iconic sound, that iconic, just beautiful voice that sounds a little bit like the lead singer from the Ronettes. I can't think of her name, but it's her sound though. It's just, when we hear her voice, when we hear an Amy Winehouse song, we know it's Amy Winehouse, regardless if you know who she is. So, and in my opinion, I think Amy Winehouse is just an amazing singer and an amazing person. So yeah, that's my opinion though of Amy. Today we are going to do an Amy Winehouse makeup thing. So I saw a video from a very famous YouTuber in the makeup game named Lisa Eldridge. She brought over a makeup artist, I think her name was Val or something like that, started with V. Val did a lot of movie makeup, you know, from Alice in Wonderland to a lot of Tim Burton films, you know, like that. And then she did a photo shoot with Amy Winehouse and she did her makeup. And seeing that video, I said, you know what, I'm gonna do this makeup actually, how she did Amy's makeup, except I'm gonna try and do it with the products that I already have, you know, with me. So at least products that work for me, and I know they work for me, so. Let's begin, shall we? So what she did first was prime. She did prime the skin with an oil, a rosehip oil. Sadly, I do not have a rosehip oil, but I did prime my face with the e.l.f. Matte Putty Primer and let it sit for at least 30 seconds to a minute. It really is a nice mattifying primer. It really is. So that's what I have on my skin right now, and it feels amazing. Now, she used a cosmetics foundation, which is a very lightweight foundation. Today I'm going to be using MAC Studio Fix foundation in the shade NW40. Now this is a full coverage foundation, yes. However, this foundation, you can make it as, you know, natural as possible, or you can make it as full glam as possible. So I think for this type of makeup, especially when we're talking about Amy Winehouse, I think I'm just going to use one pump of this foundation. So I got my mixing palette here, and I'm just going to add one pump. Actually, let me put a little bit more. About 1.5 pumps, so nothing much. With the foundation on this mixing palette, I am going to take a Morphe X Jeffree Star JS1 foundation brush. It's a very fluffy foundation brush. Now, there is a newer model of this brush. This is the first collection brush that he's released. I think they still sell the first collection, I think, on Morphe. So, take foundation, got my brush here, and I'm going to go in there once, just once on here. And I'm just going to focus it right here. Kind of dot a little bit and kind of swirl, buff and swirl a little bit. You still want to be light with it. You want to be as light as possible with it. I will say though, for this brush from Morphe, this is a very soft brush, and you can buff and stipple as much as you can on it. So. And again, with one pump of this, I've already got the entire face so far, like half the face. Val did use a dual fiber brush to sort of take off any excess. I do not have a dual fiber brush, so this is what the brush that we're going to be using. So, get into the forehead. Now, if you feel like you need a little bit more foundation, you definitely can go in a little bit more if you want to. So if you want more foundation, just take just the tiniest bit of foundation, because especially with the full coverage foundation, you just want to be careful, you know, how much you use. Put some on the nose here, on the mustache area, a little bit more here, on the forehead. Yeah, so just be careful where you're putting the foundation and how you're applying it. So the next thing that Val did is actually very interesting. She actually spot concealed on Amy. I'm going to take my Fenty Beauty concealer in the shade 370, and this is sort of close to my skin tone. So what I'm going to do is just kind of cover anywhere where there's redness, you know, or really kind of anything where there's imperfections in a sense. So I'm just going to take a dab of this, and this concealer is very full coverage. I'm going to take a dab of this, just put it in places where I know I need coverage. Take your finger and just kind of just pat it into the skin. You know, you don't want to go all the way over, you know, board with this concealer, but even then, just be very gentle. Be very gentle with your skin. And again, this concealer is like my skin tone. So, and while you're using your fingers, while you have foundation on and you use concealer that's almost like your skin tone, it's easy to blend in with the foundation. It actually helps bring more color to your skin a little bit too. Now I do have like discoloration on my mustache area. Just gonna like just add a little bit here, and I'm just gonna pat it in. That way the discoloration of my mustache can kind of, you know, sort of fade. Now, the one thing I forgot to do, almost forgot to do, was that Val also put foundation under the eyes a little bit. So I'm going to take a more denser, smaller brush. I'm trying to find one. This is the Morphe E18 brush. Though this is an eyeshadow brush, it is perfect for smoking out under the eyes or just applying creams under the eyes. At least that's my opinion. So take my foundation again, and just a dot, just a dot. You don't want too much. Take this brush, go into this foundation a little bit, take off any excess, and literally just go like that with the foundation. Just a little under the eye. You just want to go very light-handed with this foundation. Because again, this foundation may be like very, you know, full, but you can make it as light as possible, you know. Also put it all the way over here to her, like into the inner corner of her eye, because, and this is a general thing, a lot of people do tend to like get discoloration in the corner of their eye because of lack of sleep and whatnot, and you know, some other things too. So that's normal, that's life, you know. Now that we have, you know, spot concealed and we put a little bit of foundation under the eye, we are then going to go into highlighting. Now highlighting is very interesting actually, because actually the makeup artist actually put concealer on her eye, which is a highlight, you know, instead of using eyeshadow on Amy, because, you know, that's, you know, she never really used eyeshadow on Amy. So what I'm going to use the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer, because this is a very lightweight concealer, medium, but you can make it lightweight. And I'm just going to put like a dot in my eye. And this is in the shade Caramel. I'm going to do another dot on my eyes. Then I'm going to take the same brush. The Morphe E18 brush, which has a little bit of foundation in it. I'm just going to pat it around the eye. Just a little bit. Just pat it around the eye. That way it gives a natural glow. Because when we think of Amy Winehouse, we do think of the eyes. We think of the eyes and the lips. That dramatic eyeliner, that natural looking eye with no eyeshadow on it. Just complete perfection from Amy, you know? So that's what I think of it. Then what she would do is take the highlight concealing shade and kind of just go a little bit under the eye. Just kind of a little bit under the eye. And just under the eye. We're not like really doing extreme highlighting. Just naturally under the eye. Then she would take a smaller brush and just kind of pat into it. Pat. It's all about patting. This whole thing's about patting. Now that we're done highlighting a little bit under the eye, we are then going to set the entire face. Val used a compact powder, a compact translucent powder in specifics. So I did not have that today, but I do have the e.l.f. HD loose setting powder, which is in the shade Sheer, which is translucent. So I'm going to take this powder. And I'm going to take my Morphe X Jeffree Star JS2 brush, which is a really nice fluffy brush. Take this translucent powder, kind of coat it around the brush. Tap off any excess. And then just lightly set it. Just lightly set it. You know, you don't want to go too heavy with this translucent powder. You don't want to bake or cook it or anything. You just want to simply set. Now that we have set the face, she then went in with blush. Now with blush, she used a fan brush and sort of just whisk it onto the face. I do not have a fan brush with me, or at least not a smaller one. I don't have a small fan brush. However, I am going to use I'm going to take the Morphe M501 brush, which is normally used for highlight, and I'm going to take the MAC powder blush in the shade Raisin, and I'm going to use this to sort of whisk it onto the apples of my cheeks. Take this blush, go all over the entire blush, and like she said, just whisk it. This sort of gives a nice color, to the cheeks. In fact, Amy was all about the rosy cheeks, like the natural face and the rosy cheeks. And I think for this sort of look, in a sense, how it's so matte as to what it looks really nice once you put color onto it. And Valli also took the blush and she put it on the nose of Amy, just a slight bit. So I'm going to take the brush and just slightly go across the nose, just a slight. And I see why she would do this, because normally people would be red around, their entire face plus their nose. So I can see why she did this, So the next step that she would do is sort of take an illuminating palette. And I'm going to use the e.l.f. illuminating palette here, which has a lot of these nice colors that would match for any skin type. So I think I'm going to use the Morphe M321 brush, and I'm going to use a highlighting shade that's going to match not necessarily my skin tone, but a highlight that would look natural, like on my skin. The one I'm going to choose is going to be this shade right here. It's a little bit pink and a little bit cool, and I'm just going to see how it goes. That dust. Now I would use this little rose gold shade, but I feel like it's a little too warm, so I think I'm going to go in with this, which is again a little bit cooler. So, and she just went slightly up the nose. So we're going to take the Morphe E62 brush with a very, very, very sort of light powdering contour. I'm going to be using the Milani bronzer in the shade 03 Suntan, and I'm going to just shade the nose ever so slightly, just very, very slightly. You don't need to do much, really, just a little bit. Okay, we're going to blend it into the skin. Val, who was Amy's makeup artist one time, she did use an illuminating powder on her eyes instead of eyeshadow, which would make sense because you do have some sort of a flat surface here, and you want to bring light into the eyes a little bit because the eyeliner and that light is going to show. So I think I'm going to take the same shade that I'm going to take here. It's a powdery one. So I'm going to take my Morphe M441 brush, and I'm going to just take this powder right here, this illuminating powder, and I'm just going to go light all the way here, kind of go all the way to the eyes, but not too much, just a little bit where light can show. Now for brows, she didn't use a pomade, she didn't use a brow pencil, exactly. She did use a brow gel. I'm going to be using the Maybelline Brow Fast Sculpt Gel Mascara. First, I'm going to brush the brows. This is the Morphe M158 brush, and I'm just going to comb the brows out in a sense. We're just combing them out sort of to keep them straight in a sense. Just keep it straight. Now I'm gonna go in with the gel mascara. And she went very light-handed with it. And the product that she used, the gel mascara that she used, had a very thick wand. This does not have a thick wand, and I kind of appreciate not having a thick wand because you can go as light or as heavy as you want with this. I am gonna take off excess from this brow gel, just a little bit of excess off. I'm going to just go through the brows. Very lightly though, very, very lightly. You don't want to go, again, overboard. If you go overboard, then it's gonna look very unnatural. Now time for the most exciting part of this makeup, which is eyeliner. Amy wasn't, you know, particularly, well, I guess you'd say, not really neat with eyeliner. If you look through her makeup throughout how she began in her career to now, her eyeliner wasn't exactly perfect. So, and honest to God, I mean, to be honest about winged eyeliner, Amy Winehouse taught me how to do winged eyeliner. It sounds odd me saying that, but it's true. She did teach me how to do eyeliner, which I'm still grateful for this day. Thank you, Amy. Now for eyeliner, I am going to use the ColourPop gel color liner in the shade Swerve, and I'm going to be using two eyeliner brushes today. I'm going to be using the Morphe M250-1 brush and the Morphe 160-1/8 brush. I'm going to try and mimic the Amy Winehouse eyeliner, but I don't want to like mimic too much of it where it's not authentically me. Does that make sense? Because it was all about the eyeliner, all about the eyeliner. I'm going to just not really slather it on, but sort of, you know, give a little starting point. And the greatest thing about this eyeliner or this gel color is that it does dry very quickly, though you may have to work with it a little bit, actually. So, you know, Amy's eyeliner that she would use was the Rimmel Exaggerate Liquid Liner, which was like a traditional pot eyeliner, kind of like go over reference, kind of like this eyeliner. This is the e.l.f. Jet Black eyeliner. Kind of like this, except the wand was like a little stump. It wasn't like a flimsy wand. So, just a little fun fact. I'm going to take the Morphe brush, which is this angular brush right here, and I am going to do that dramatic, like, wing sort of scent. So, I'm going to take this brush, dip it in there, and I'm going to follow the shape of, like, my waterline and then pull out the wing. So, that's what I'm going to do. Ooh, that's nice. Nice. Now, if you want to go a little bit more into detail with the eyeliner, you can definitely take this brush right here, your thinner brush, and kind of just fill in the gaps a little bit. And you can definitely fix the tail. I'm going to try and mimic what I did here. It's difficult, but I'm going to try and mimic it, how I did it. So. Yay, I did it. Before I put on mascara, I am going to curl my lashes. So, any eyelash curler would work. Now that we have our lashes curled, I'm going to be using mascara. I'm going to use the NYX Cosmetics On The Rise Lift Mascara. It's a really nice mascara. Like, it's not too, like, heavy, and it dries very quickly. So, I'll put some of this on my eyes. Just some mascara. Now that the mascara is complete and the eye makeup is complete as well, I'm going to go in with the lips. Now, we do know Amy from a lot of her iconic lip shades, you know, but in a lot of her photo shoots, we see a lot of nude lips. But she really liked doing the red. So what the makeup artist did for Amy's lips was that she used a lip pencil and a lipstick. I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Color Rich lip pencil in Always Red, and I'm also going to be using the lipstick from MAC Cosmetics, which is Russian Red, which was actually the lipstick Amy used. Follow the natural curl on my lips. Now, essentially, I'm going to fill in the rest of this lip, like with this lip liner. So that's what I'm gonna do. You know, I will say this is my first time using this lip liner, and it feels really, really creamy. Now I'm gonna go in with the lipstick. Now she did use a brush to put on her lipstick, so that's what I'm gonna do as well. So I'm gonna be using the Morphe X Jeffree Star JS24 lip brush, and I'm just going to just fill in the lip a little bit. I think I'm essentially finished now. Now the one thing they didn't do is set the face. So I'm going to be using the MAC Prep and Prime Fix Plus in Cucumber. I actually like using this, so it feels really nice in the skin. Now I'm going to let this dry. Yet again, I had no faster way to let this dry. And here is the final look. Now, I do actually like this makeup. Like, looking through my mirror right here, I can definitely see why people want to do this type of makeup, because it's so simplistic, but it's also very, very glamorous at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, it just feels nice. Like, I feel like singing all of her, you know, classics, you know, like, you know, Back to Black, Stronger Than Me, Love is the Losing Game. Like, I can think of any song from Amy that I would love to sing while doing this while having this makeup on. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoy this makeup, and yeah, it's very simplistic. I think it's more like what Hollywood would do. In fact, this is very Hollywood makeup in a sense. Rosy cheeks, sort of a rosy nose. It feels nice. Yeah, I really, really, really like this makeup. I truly, truly do. But yeah, thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. And yeah, if you followed along with this tutorial, that's great. But mind you, this isn't my makeup look. This is Amy's makeup look. You know, she designed this, and we just happened to sort of follow the face chart in a sense, you know. I will say that on the day of Amy's passing, and I think some years or so later, the Amy Winehouse Foundation was invented, I believe. So I will leave a link down below for you guys to donate as much as you want to that foundation. They do work with kids, and I think adults do. They work with kids who have, you know, major talent, I think you would say, and that it's the major talent that can't be explained within themselves, you know, like I think with mental health, I think. And same with adults when it comes to rehabilitation. So this makeup is not only in dedication to Amy, but it's also in dedication to her father, her mother, to all of her friends and other family members. You know, this makeup is for them. And again, Amy Winehouse has been an inspiration to me. She made me fall in love with jazz again, because I was raised with all types of music, from country music, 50s and 60s pop, to jazz. I mean, I was raised with an array of music, and I thank my grandmother for that. And almost drifted away from that. Thank God that, you know, I discovered Amy when she died, and she made me fall in love with jazz again. And now, even in my older years, as she's not living with us now, you know, she taught me how to do a winged eyeliner, you know, and I'm still glad, you know, about that. So yeah. So yeah, I am going to be leaving the link to the Amy Winehouse Foundation, along with the Born This Way Foundation, which is a foundation that I truly, truly believe in, along with the Black Lives Matter donating link also. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and yeah. And I'll leave my Instagram and Snapchat too on the link if you want to like talk or whatever. I love talking to people, you know, I love talking to anyone. All right, guys. Bye.